First time I've done this, so bear with me. Hopefully I can see all your questions coming through. I'll answer as many as I can. I don't know how long we'll go for. We'll see how we go. But yeah, let's get into it. What do we got? All right, a question from Giri. Hi Smith, big fan of your batting. You started your career as a spin bowler and then became a batsman. Why'd you stop bowling? Well, I think when I was young, I just, growing up, I wanted to be involved in the game as much as possible. Batting, bowling, fielding. I worked really hard on all of them. And then obviously I started my career for Australia as a bowler. And I was I think I was batting at 8 or 9 in my first couple of tests. And then I came back as a bit of a bits and pieces player, batting at 6, bowling a little bit. And then I got dropped and I thought, I need to change something to get myself back to playing for Australia. So I decided to focus purely on my batting. I've always probably seen myself as more of a batsman, so I wanted to focus all my time and energy on that in the nets, as well as my fielding. And yeah, that was the plan. And yeah, that's how it ended up. Rightio, next question. Can you give, from IQ Rexo, hey Smith, can you give some tips and what mindset you should have to reach the top in cricket? Good question. Look, I think once you get to the top level, I think everyone's skill sets are somewhat similar. Everyone does things a little bit differently, but the fundamentals are all there. And I think playing at the top level, it's a really it's a mental game, and you need to hone in on those skills. And I think for me, I've been able to do that over time. I've learned as I've gone along. And I think as a batsman in particular, it's about making good decisions consistently, and probably having a low false shot percentage. But if you're making good decisions consistently, then you hold yourself in good stead to hopefully score plenty of runs. Daniel Saunders said, how much more test cricket do you think you have in your system? Not sure. We'll wait and see. I'm feeling good at the moment. I'm loving what I'm doing. I actually feel like I'm hitting the ball at the moment, the last week or so, as well as I have in a long time. So I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty keen to get stuck into some cricket. And yeah, tough one to answer. But they do say, people I've heard that have retired have said, you just wake up one day and you kind of just know. So if I get to that moment, and for me it'll be about, I think, not wanting to get better. While I still want to get better and improve as a player, then I'll keep on playing for sure. Okay, Arts the YouTuber, your best test innings. I think that's a pretty easy one for me. I think 2019, the Ashes at Edgbaston, the first innings, coming back into the team after a year out. I was, the team was under the pump. We were losing some wickets and needed to stand up. And yeah, the 100 I got there was a pretty special one. To be able to, in the first test of an Ashes series, I know the importance of it. So to be able to stand up and help our team get to a decent total there, and then obviously to go on and win that test match was pretty special. So I'll have to say that one. Someone say, Charan, will you come for second phase of the IPL? Yes, I'm in Dubai now actually. Had a few training sessions now with Delhi. They've been really good. It's been nice to adjust to the different temperature here. It's been incredibly hot and quite humid as well. So adjusting to the heat and the conditions of the wickets. It's been really good. So I feel like I'm batting well. So yeah, if I get another opportunity in the Delhi starting lineup, hopefully I can help this team continue to have success. We're in a good place at the moment, on top of the ladder. So hopefully we can keep that up. Obviously got Shreyas Iyer coming back, quality player. So whether I'll start or not, I'm not sure. We'll wait and see. But either way, I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks, and hopefully Delhi can have some real good success. What else we got? Okay, Assad Markdomi, apology if I get some of these names wrong, has said, what should be a batsman's mindset after a run of low scores? I think trusting the process. Sometimes you can be out of luck. Sometimes you can be actually out of form and not hitting the ball as well as you'd like. But for me, it's about going back to your processes, practicing good habits, and trusting what you've done in the nets to that it'll turn around. I think sometimes when you're out of runs, you can go searching for them, and that can be the worst thing to do, particularly in long form cricket. You try and hit one that's not there and you nick it. You want to feel bad on ball, things like that. You've got to try and rein it in and focus on each ball coming down at you, and trust the process. Trust everything you've done in practice, and just have faith that you'll turn it around. And someone actually said to me once, I actually felt like I was hitting the ball quite well. I just wasn't getting the runs that I was after. And they said, you're not out of form, you're just out of runs. There's a difference. And that kind of sort of resonated really well with me, and I was able to just focus on, I'm actually hitting the ball well. I'm going to turn things around. It only takes one good knock and you feel like you get the confidence back, and things keep moving forward. So something to think about perhaps if you are out of runs, whether you are actually out of form or just out of the runs. Okie doke, what do we got? Okay, Shivam Singh said, how many hours do you practice your batting in a day? I think everyone's different the way they prepare. For me, I generally like to hit a lot of balls. At the moment, I'm coming back from tennis elbow, which is an overuse injury. So I'm working my way back into it. It's feeling really good at the moment, but I don't want to go too over the top too early and re-injure myself. So I'm slowly working my way back into it, and then once I'm comfortable, then hopefully as the summer rolls around and long form cricket, obviously the Ashes comes around, I'll be able to bat for longer periods in the nets and just enjoy myself. But yeah, I generally like to hit a lot of balls. Okay, Emily Ann said, hi Steve, just a question, why do you shift to your left and strike the ball? Okay, so I assume you mean move across the crease or have a prelim movement. Look, I think it's just something that I developed. I never used to do it. I actually used to just bat on middle stump and stay still, and then move to the ball from there. However, it was actually in the middle of a test match at the WACA in 2013 and 14 where I was getting a lot of short bowling and I just wasn't getting myself into a nice position. So I started going with my right foot back and across just ever so slightly. It's got bigger over time, but ever so slightly, and everything felt like it clicked. I was getting in really good positions on the front foot. I was getting my weight through the ball. I was pouncing back and pulling or getting out of the way of the ball. And yeah, everything just clicked into place. So I think that just works for me. You know, the beauty of our game is everyone plays differently. I think the game would be pretty boring if we all batted the same. So it's about finding a technique that works for you, and trusting it, and working on it, and making it as good as it can be to be successful. So yeah, that's how mine started in the middle of a test match, and yeah, it's just progressed from there. And you know, you get that muscle memory if you do it over and over again, and you get yourself used to it and in certain positions, and yeah, that's it. Okay. Puneet Maharshi has said my favourite cheat meal. Well, for me, I've got a pretty sweet tooth, so I'll have to go with chocolate. Love chocolate. You know, reward myself all the time with chocolate if I get a big score. That's my motivation to go out and play well. So yeah, absolutely love my chocolate when I get that chance, but obviously not all the time. Okie doke. Okay, Safe Your Ramen Abasi, again, apologies if I'm not getting these names right. Please make a video on how to overcome fear. Okay, I assume you're talking about fear when batting, and that's something I think, for me, it's come over time. You know, you need to practice, I think, playing against quicker than you're going to face in the game. So for me, it's my old man used to bowl from a closer distance. He used to overstep the mark by a long way, so the ball was coming down quicker than what I was getting at that stage when I was younger. So you know, so you're used to playing against really quick bowling, and then once people start bowling from behind the line, and in a game in particular, it feels a little bit slower. So just gives you a bit more time, and you always hear you know, people talking about batters that have a lot of time, and time is everything, I think, as a batter. It's incredibly important. So that's how I used to work on it as a kid, and at the moment now, it's you know, really fortunate to have guys like Pat Cummins, Hazelwood, Mitchell Starc, these guys charging in at me in the nets, and I think in the nets, anyone feels quicker than in the game. So having these guys charging in and challenging me in the nets, it certainly holds me in good stead once I walk out to the middle. And I try and in the nets focus on particularly my first 20 or 30 balls, playing against them, being as sharp as I can, and you know, getting through those and not getting out. And when you do that, it gives you a lot of confidence moving forward once you get out into the middle. Yeah, so I think, yeah, that's how I would say overcoming fear is just practicing against, you know, quicker than what you're likely to face out in the middle. Nicholas Tui, will you be providing more shot tutorials as well as in-depth videos on the mental side of the game? Also, are you ever satisfied with your batting? Yeah, we'll provide plenty more tutorials on, you know, how I do different things, and you can take what you like from them. And am I ever satisfied with my batting? No. I want to keep getting better every day, and I think, as I said earlier, that the moment that I want to stop getting better is probably the day that I'll give it away. So yeah, always want to keep improving as a player. What else we got? Who is the best international bowler apart from Australia, according to you? That's from Crick Knowledge. Look, I think there's some outstanding bowlers around the world at the moment. We'll start with, you know, you've got to look at Jimmy Anderson, the way he's gone about his career, his longevity. I think I read something earlier today saying, he's 39 years of age. It's just a number. He obviously hasn't played any white ball cricket, I think, since 2015. So he feels probably more like a 34 or 35-year-old. So he still feels like he's got a bit left in the tank. He's got an incredible record. Bumrah now, obviously, look at the spell he bowled the other day, turned the game on its head. Outstanding bowler. Kagiso Rabada, another one. He's a terrific bowler as well. From a spin point of view, I think Jadeja and Ashwin, two guys that are incredibly hard to face, particularly in Indian conditions. Outside of Australia, those guys are pretty good. There's probably a few others that I haven't mentioned. I think one, I got asked a question before, I saw it swing by, who's the best bowler that I have faced. Let's say, I used to find Morne Morkel quite difficult to face. He was tall, he bowled good pace, he got good bounce, and I just didn't line him up very well for some reason. I'm not sure why, but he was an outstanding bowler. He got me out a few times, gave me a bit of trouble. So I'll say him. And I also really didn't enjoy facing Mohammad Amir. I thought he was a very, very good bowler, bowled good pace, swung the ball in as a left armer, had good variations going across you as well. So he was a terrific bowler also. Okay. The toughest conditions to play cricket. That's from Abhigyan Raj. I think playing in the subcontinent on spinning wickets for an Australian is very foreign. You have to find ways to play differently. You can't play the same way you do in Australia. So I love the challenge of playing on spinning wickets in the subcontinent. I think they make for terrific cricket. They're exciting, there's always something happening. The bowlers are always in the game and you have to bat well to score runs. So I love playing in India. India and Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, all present different challenges. And then adversely, England as well, I think is a place that it's not easy to play at times. However, I'm going to say it's great cricket in England. There's always something happening with the ball. It can swing if if there's overhead cloud cover, can swing around, can nip around. If the sun's out, can be outstanding to bat. So it's a place where I think you never feel in as such. You have to work exceptionally hard mentally to get big scores, and it's a place you can score pretty quickly as well. So I think if you're willing to do the hard yards, there's always something there for the bowler. But if you bat well and you trust yourself and you play, within your constraints or your limits, then you can score big runs there as well. So that's the beauty of playing international cricket, I think, just being exposed to different conditions all around the world, and all of them present different challenges, and that's why I love it. Okay, the Stylish Gamer has said Roger Federer or Novak Djokovic. Look, I'm a big Federer fan. Obviously he's out injured at the moment. He's getting towards the back end of his career. Hopefully he can come back and play a few more games. I'd love to see him play a few more, but Novak Djokovic is an absolute champion as well. I think he's going to break all of the records. I think they play today in the US Open final, probably. I think he'll probably win that against Daniil Medvedev. But look, he's an outstanding player. The way he's gone about things for a number of years, great to watch. obviously a huge tennis fan, love it. But yeah, look, the way he gets around the court and gets to every ball and has that sort of never say die attitude, terrific player. Okie doke, what do we got next? Okie doke. So someone said, saw it before, it was, would you prefer 10,000 runs in your test career or man of the match in a World Cup final? That's pretty easy answer for me. It'd be man of the match in a World Cup final. Assuming that you've got given man of the match, it means Australia has won. So for me, that's a simple one. I'd take that over any personal accolades any day of the week. So hopefully this upcoming World Cup, you never know. Okay, Jibby Rosalind said, hi Steve Smith, it says your book that you've done a lot of catching practice with your dad. Would you have been this good in the field without your dad, or does catching make it perfect? Yeah, look, I've always prided myself on my fielding. Someone said to me at a young age that playing cricket, you're going to spend 50% of your career in the field, so you might as well be good at it. So I've always worked really hard on it. I think it's important to practice as close to what you're going to get in the game. So for me, long form cricket, I'm fielding in the slip, so I do a lot of slip work and just stay focused on that. And then when it comes to white ball cricket, I'm usually either fielding point, cover, mid wicket, or on the boundary, generally straight. So I would get the balls hit to me and try and be as specific as I can with the way I go about my practice to try and ensure once I'm out in the middle, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just wanting the ball to come to me and having that mindset of wanting to make a difference. I think that's important when fielding. You want the ball to come to you. You don't want to be, afraid of it or not wanting it to come to you. You want that ball to come to you, and you want to make a difference and do something special. Okie doke. Who's my favourite footballer, Messi or Ronaldo? I'm going to go with Ronaldo. Pretty cool to see him back at Manchester United, where he started his career. I'm not a huge football fan, but yeah, you got to admire what him and Messi have both done over their careers. But yeah, cool to see Ronaldo back at Manchester United. Okay, Kunal Yadav said, any particular strategy to face England in the upcoming Ashes? Haven't really thought too much about it at this stage. Got a few T20 games to play before then, so we'll start thinking about that a little bit closer to it. But of course, looking forward to another Ashes series. They're outstanding to play in. They're the pinnacle, I guess, for Australian and English cricketers. Big series that you want to be involved in. So yeah, I'm excited about that, and can't wait for summer of cricket back home in Australia. Okay, Jaden N said, hi Steve, what pathway did you go through to play for New South Wales? So I started playing grade cricket at 15, I think. I was in 5th grade, and I slowly worked my way through the grades. Actually happened pretty quickly, to be honest. I was playing first grade the next year, and then got picked in under 17s, under 19s for New South Wales, which were great learning experiences, and then continued playing first grade and got an opportunity to play for New South Wales second 11, and then got picked into the first team from there, which was special. Always wanted to play for New South Wales as a kid as well, so I think was a great stepping stone, and plenty of hard work back in the day for sure. Okay, Constantine Letrue has just asked me how my day is. Thanks. It's good. We've got a day off today. We've had a couple of hard days of training, so day off for the team today. Taking it pretty easy. Watched the football earlier, Parramatta and the Knights. Parramatta got over the line, and watched the footy yesterday actually. The Roosters played, just got over the line. Tight game, but the boys have done pretty well this year at the Roosters after so many injuries. To still be in the tournament is pretty amazing, to be honest. So they should be pretty proud of themselves, and hopefully they can stick in there and put on another good performance against Manly next week. Okie doke. Yash Wayne has said, any reason behind my jersey number 49? Pretty simple, just my favourite number. Nothing more to it really other than that. That's about it. Okay, Harshit Parikh has said, how do you change your batting and swinging conditions? So I think for me, playing, say in England for instance, when the ball's swinging, I stick to a pretty clear plan. So I want to be defending the ball as straight as I can, straight back down the wicket as much as I possibly can, and then I want to try and score square of the wicket. So if the ball's swinging away from me, I want to kind of go with it, with the swing when I'm trying to score, but when I'm defending, it's straight. The reason I say this, I think if you're thinking defend straight, then the ball can deviate past the outside edge if you're playing the line that the straight line. However, if you bat slightly to the side and facing towards, say, cover, then I think you're more inclined to want to push at the ball out wider, and then you can obviously get in trouble nicking off. So for me, it's about trying to stick that line defending straight, but then when I want to score either off the front or back foot, then it's square of the wicket. I won't try and score too much straight down the ground, because I think that presents you're not going with the swing then either way. That's personally the way I like to handle it. Everyone's different, but that's how I think about playing. Emily Ann, I'm poor in catching. Can you provide me some tips on catching? I think just catch lots of balls. Watch the ball as close as you can and as late as you can into your hands. Get yourself in really good positions. Practice with hands up, hands down. And I think, as I said earlier, just practice in positions that you're likely to field, and try and make it as realistic as possible. Okie doke. What else we got? What's my favourite shot? For me, the straight drive. Not in swing conditions, but straight drive. I think bowlers hate the ball going back past them, don't they? So, and you're presenting the full face. It's a great feeling, that ball just going back past the bowler for four. So I'll go with the straight drive. Okie doke. What's next? How do I judge the line and length of the delivery from bowler's arm? Yeah, just watching that ball out of the hand as closely as you can. That's the the best bit of advice I can give, and then just watching it as late as possible as well. Um, that's the only thing you should be thinking about. For me, I think when I'm batting my best, I'm I'm not. I know where my field is. I'm aware of what's going on, but once that bowler is in the last 4 or 5 steps of his run up, all I'm thinking about is that thing in his hand that's coming down at me, and I need to play it to the best of my ability. So I'm focusing on that as hard as I can and as late as I can. Have you copied Marnus with the no run thing? I think he's copied me. Just ask him. What else we got? Okay. Do you have any tips to play a straight drive? Okay, for me, I think particularly a lot of kids these days are very bottom hand dominant and want to swing through the ball. I think for me, playing a straight drive is a lot about this shoulder and your left hand, your top hand. I think you need to. So it's a combination of that and feet also. I think you want your foot pointing in as close to as close as possible to the direction you want to hit the ball. So I see these days a lot of kids have their feet pointing towards, say, cover when they're trying to hit the ball straight down the ground. So that kind of means that the bottom hand has to take over to get the ball there, to get around your front leg when it's bent. So I think your foot needs to be pointing as close as it can be to straight, to enable your knee to bend straight so you don't have to play around your front knee, and then you can use your top hand to get the bat through on the right angle to hit the ball straight down the ground. So something to work on. Yeah, I see a lot of kids have that kind of technical, I don't know if it's a flaw or what, but I see that technique in a lot of kids these days, and I think it'll get them in a bit of trouble, particularly when the ball's moving a bit. So yeah, something to think about. A lot of coaches tell me that my stance is wrong because my back lift is way too high. What do you say on this, and should I change this? Look, listen to your coaches. Ultimately, you have to be comfortable with the way you're playing. Listen to your coaches, take it all in, and then trust yourself, or have people that you do trust that can help you. But ultimately, you're the one out in the middle playing the game. So you have to be comfortable with your technique, with your mindset, with everything. It's just you. So yeah, take it all in, give it a go. If it doesn't work, then get rid of it, and just try and find whatever it is that works for you. Like I said earlier, everyone's different. Everyone plays the game differently. So find what works for you and then do it to the best of your ability. Arin Salian has said thoughts about cricket in the Olympics. Yeah, that'd be cool. Obviously the Olympics have just gone. It was great viewing. All the athletes were outstanding. So I'd love to play in an Olympics. That'd be amazing. So fingers crossed, we'll see. All right, we'll go for a few more minutes here. Pradeep said, how do you plan your innings according to the situations and conditions? that's it. I mean, you just got to play it to the situation and the conditions. The beauty of our game is we never face the same conditions, over and over again. Batting on day one can be different to day two, to day three, to day four and day five. The game's different, so each match you play the game's slightly different. It's a huge variable, the surface you play on. So I think for me it's about trying to get the pace of the wicket, watching batting at 3 or 4 generally in the innings. I get to watch out in the middle and see what's going on, try and get as many cues as I can about how the wicket's playing, what the bowlers are trying to do, and I watch pretty closely when I'm off, when I'm waiting to bat. So once I get to the middle, it's about focusing on my first few balls, particularly in short form cricket where you don't have as long to get yourself in. First few balls, try and get the pace of the wicket, see what's going on there, and then in Test cricket you can take a bit longer. So, or long form cricket, you can take a bit longer to get yourself in generally. So getting the pace of the wicket, what the ball's doing, and summing it up from there. Some days the wicket can be flat as anything, and you can drive the ball on the up or take it on a bit more, and then some days the wicket might be a bit slower or doing a bit, so you've got to sum it up and find the right way to play in those conditions. And that's the beauty of our game. I think the conditions are never the same. You have to think about what you're trying to do on the go and find a way to be successful on that given day. What else we got? Have I ever played lefty? I played a few, reverse sweeps or whatever. I remember in a club game a while ago, I actually got we were pretty close to winning the game, and I got a free hit. I had a left arm Chinaman bowler bowling, wrist spin bowler bowling, and I got a free hit, and I thought, it was a short side on my offside, so I thought, why don't I just face up left-handed? We'll see how we go. He tried to bowl me a seamer and put it right in the slot, and I actually hit it for 6. So that was pretty cool, and I haven't really done it since. So yeah, that was good fun. Some tips for batting against spin bowling. Again, I think everyone plays so differently. For me, it's about controlling a good length. So a bowler's good length is, and making that as small as can be. If it's too short, you're generally able to play off the back foot. If it's too full, you can score off the front foot and you shouldn't get out. So the good length ball, being able to make that as small as it can, either by coming down the wicket, or getting a big stride in and playing out in front, getting back as quickly as possible, being fast on my feet, but making sure that good length ball, which is particularly if the wicket's spinning or I'm playing in the subcontinent where it skids on and then one spins and you don't really know which one's which, making that good length as small as can possibly be for the bowler is important for me. So theoretically, outside of that good length, I shouldn't be getting out. If it's slightly shorter, if it's too full, you can cover it. So controlling that good length, and doing that by, like I said, getting down the wicket, fast feet, or getting a big stride in out to the ball as well. How do you read the bowler's mind? I wouldn't say you can read their mind. I guess you can occasionally get a fair indication of what they're trying to do based on where their field is, and what the conditions are. You can get a reasonable indication sometimes there, but ultimately you don't want to be thinking too much about what they're trying to do. Focus on that ball coming down and making a decision from there. Okay, Chatil Maynath has said favourite cuisine. Japanese food, love Japanese food. Sushi, sashimi, you name it. Prawn tempura, hand rolls, big fan. But yeah, Japanese food's definitely my favourite cuisine. Some tips about running between wickets. Yeah, look, big part of our game. Running between the wickets, you can I think I see a lot of people, particularly when they're younger, not focusing as much on their turning. So you see some people where their foot's almost over the line and their bat's a long way over the line when they're turning. So you're cutting you're not giving yourself a head start as such. You're making it a metre longer or 2 metres longer than it needs to be. So getting good turns, nice and low, nice powerful position, and getting that bat so it's just over the line, and then obviously able to turn, gives you that little bit of extra, I don't know, less meters to run, which is what you want, obviously. And then just running as hard as you can. You never know when you hit the ball out to the outfield, if there's a fumble or what, you can make up runs, and that's the key to our game, isn't it? To score as many runs as you can as a batter. Okie doke. Last couple, guys. What do we got? Okay, Yashwant said, give some tips how to handle pressure. I think for me, it's just about focusing on what's good for the team at that point in time, and then just doing whatever I'm doing out in the middle to the best of my ability. Not focusing so much on what I want or what I need. It's about the team and what the team needs at that point in time, and playing according to what needs to be done out in the middle. So we're all faced with pressure as cricketers, and just trying to keep things as simple as it can be, and have as clear a mind as possible to go out and perform. Tips to improve the on drive. I'd say pretty similar to what I said about the straight drive before. I think you want your foot as close, pointing in the direction as close as possible to where you're trying to hit the ball. And I think from my point of view, when you're playing the on drive well, you're in a pretty good place. It means you're really balanced, means you're in really good positions, and yeah, like I said, if you're playing the on drive good, then you don't have a lot to worry about. You're getting yourself in really nice positions. Okie doke. Hi Steve, how to change your technique in different formats? I don't change too much. I occasionally just change how my hands go on the bat, according to wicket and where I'm playing. If it's lower and slower, I like to be slightly more open. If it's a bit quicker, I can afford to be a bit more closed with my grip. But yeah, very subtle changes. Don't change too much. Probably just more my practice. You know, when I'm practicing for T20, I'm practicing, you know, a lot more boundary hitting, trying to hit the ball, you know, out of the park at times, and focus on a power game. You know, I've played for long enough now that I've got, I think, the game that I can, you know, just bat normally. It's the power game that I guess I need to work on. So I work on that stuff at training more than just the batting itself, if that makes sense. And then when it comes to longer form cricket, I focus on just playing, not thinking too much, playing each ball on its merits, and just focusing in particular on my first 20 to 30 balls, as that's generally the hardest time to bat when you first come in, when you're getting used to the conditions. So focusing on what needs to be done to get through those and get some rhythm and get going. Okey-doke. How do I keep myself fit? I like to run. For me, that's my preferred method of fitness. I like to run long distances, so 10K's for me is a good distance to you know, just get into some running, get some good conditioning in my legs, and then obviously do some shorter, sharper stuff as well. Some sprinting obviously is what's needed when batting, so I do that as well. But from a fitness point of view, I guess I like distance running. Put the headphones in, listen to some music, and just go for it. Generally I like running with someone as well. Don't have to, but I do like someone there, someone better than me as well, generally, to push me and yeah, I guess hopefully get me better and fitter. Okey-doke. What's my thought process behind ICC tournaments? I'm assuming World Cups. Yeah, look, I love being part of the big tournaments. They're the ones you want to play in. You know, you're playing against all the best players from around the world in a tournament style competition, and yeah, they're the best ones to be involved in. So you know, fortunate to be in the squad for the upcoming World Cup. I'm looking forward to that here in Dubai, and hopefully Australia can have some success. It is one trophy that has eluded us, so I think we've got a really good squad, and yeah, I think, yeah, I'd love to have some success in this tournament, that's for sure. Thoughts on Rishabh Pant? Yeah, look, he's an exciting young player, isn't he? You know, he's our captain here at Delhi. I thought he did a terrific job with that. The first half of the season, we're obviously on top of the table, doing really well. But as a player, look, he's exciting. You know, obviously the way he played in Australia last summer at the Gabba was, you know, pretty exceptional for a young player. You know, and you'd look at the courage of the way he plays. I remember watching a test match, I think in India, where he was up against the second new ball and he reverse lapped Jimmy Anderson over the slips, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's absolute, I thought it was madness, but geez, he pulled it off, and you know, he's got that courage to do it, and it's exciting. So he's a great player to watch, and I'm sure the more he plays as well, he's gonna get better and better. So yeah, he's an exceptional talent. Rightio, that might do me for today. Thanks everyone for popping on. Some great questions. really enjoyed it. I've never done this live stuff before, but yeah, look, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. So thanks for all your questions. Yeah, hope you all have a good day. Cheers.